Alright, we're back.
Fuck the war one.
It's supposed to be an exclamation point, but I like your gumption.
So one thing that I guess we hadn't discussed here while we're on the screen briefly, there was the write my own story option.
Right. Lets you set up your own scenario with your own starting characters, your own variables. Nationalismus.
Your own... Yeah. Nationalism.
Yeah. Let's see to that wound.
Yeah, so I don't remember. How is Pavel doing?
We'll find out in a second. Also, we are all very hungry now.
Yeah, so good thing you made all those double meals.
Time to finally eat.
Gotta get some food at all costs.
He's still slightly wounded, but that's not even close to a frightening amount of wounds to have.
Oh yeah, Bruno actually hasn't eaten for days because he made a bunch of food and then like went to save people from a hospital.
He's very hungry, yes.
Yeah,
And now he's got to make some more food.
that'll do. Yeah, fortunately you gotta spend all those vegetables now.
That's what they're for.
Yeah. I mean that is what they're for. Just use them before thieves steal them.
Yeah. They can be used for certain other things, but it's not really worth it.
Like what else?
You can use it to create fertilizer for,
Oh right, but you just pick up compost all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There actually has been talk in the This War of Mine community for playing a vegan run where you eat only vegetables.
Can you cook only vegetables? I thought you can only make things out of meat and vegetables.
So if you look at the fridge on the right,
Mm-hmm.
you can pick ingredients out and eat them. You can eat just vegetables.
Oh.
That seems like a poor idea for survival, ethics aside.
Yeah, it's... Oh, cool.
Doesn't look
We have
like
a visitor.
Doesn't look like Franco.
No, different person. Pavel's hungry, though.
He's hungry and still slightly wounded. Now he's only slightly wounded. Oh hey, you
So
got
this
another
is-
survivor.
Yeah, this is another survivor.
Oh, cool. Who did we get?
Hi, you look friendly. My name's Lotta. I used to study at the music academy before it got closed due to war. What about we stick together for the time being? We can watch over each other. Besides, it's always better to have some company to cheer you up.
Oh man, good thing you got all those broken guitars.
Yeah, you've actually hit right on her specialty.
I mean, she said she went to the music school.
Slaughter bolsters spirits. I was just accepted to the music academy when the war broke out. I had so many plans, I had dreams. I used to play the guitar, date boys, dance. My little brother Tade always made me smile. It all seems a dream now, replaced by this nightmare we live in. Yet I still hope one day we can forget the war and carry on with our lives as if it had never happened. She's a bit more optimistic than the others.
Yeah,
That's such a foreign idea, though.
optimism.
What's that?
No, just I went to school, but it was shut down by war.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's Oh yeah, you need another bed now.
Yep.
Good thing you tore apart all that furniture.
Yep. She needs a bed, so she makes a bed.
You sleep in the bed you made. Yeah, and that is a thing that we don't ever consider, just because, like, I don't know, in time that is not like just ancient history to us. So let's see. It's gonna be warm. Time to go. Better go to the park before it gets shelled.
Oh, by the way, interesting thing. You see that most animals have disappeared from the streets thing?
Yeah.
That is actually a meaningful radio message. That radio message means that over the next few days, food items will start disappearing from piles that are outdoors.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
So even if you, does that include your stash?
No, just like things in the actual scavenged areas that are physically not within buildings.
Okay.
Huh.
Well, that's what I mean, because you put all your stashes outside so that they're closer to the edge of the map.
Not my stashes in the pile of things I have in the house.
No.
But yeah, those are affected.
Generally speaking, food's so valuable you never want to leave it behind, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a bunch of those messages. One works for meds, one works for bandages.
Huh, okay.
So generally, it is better to make your stash inside now that I've learned that.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense.
Even if you brave a few more snipers.
Yeah, we'll see more snipers later.
Also, so I've also been doing some reading on the Siege of Sarajevo, and I discovered there is actually a very concrete reason for why does that guy just keep shooting all the time.
Let's see, where are we going?
What was the reason?
So like part of the Siege of Sarajevo was part of a war for independence thing, but then the other part of it was kind of like ethnic cleansing, because the Bosnian part of Bosnia has a lot of Muslims, and it's between two very heavily Christian countries, that being Croatia and Serbia. Although Croatia was on the side of Bosnia during the siege, but Serbia was it was not. I'm not going to say there is a good war, but the Siege of Sarajevo was definitely not a good war.
That is true.
And so that's one of the things is that that in the many sniper alleys, many civilians were shot. It is not by a long shot the way that most civilians were killed in the siege, but.
So we're going to doof on over to the sniper junction, pick a few more pieces of things up.
Yeah. And also in that war, I did some. I talked about the book McMafia before.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on it a little bit. There was an interesting. I'm going to say interesting and or a curious imbalance between both sides of the conflict. In that Croatia and Bosnia were at had a significant lack of firepower and manpower, and any kind of power for that matter of fact.
Yeah.
Because so the Serbians had advanced weaponry and more so the aid of a couple countries that were not officially affiliated with Serbia, but were kind of worked together because of the mob. Basically, for a long time, Serbia and Montenegro had sort of an unofficial agreement because of the cigarette trade. But Serbia was very strongly socialist, and Montenegro is actually kind of pushing towards capitalism, so the United States was willing to look the other way on Montenegro and on Djukanovic.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Serbia had weapons in abundance, they had manpower in abundance, but the thing that they lacked was oil. Now, Bosnia and Croatia were lacking in firepower, and UN sanctions at the time placed embargoes on pretty much on Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia, and I can't remember, but maybe like kind of the greater Balkan area. Sure. as a means to curtail the war without getting like directly involved. And the hope here was that if Serbia was not able to import oil, which they would desperately need to power all of their artillery and all of their everything else, then the fighting would cease. But what actually happened was that it created this insane black market and smuggling network for oil into Serbia. And during that time, literally everybody in the Balkans sold oil to Serbia because it was a gold mine. Because Serbia was in desperate need of oil, so they would buy it at any price from any buyer. So this led to this bizarre situation where Croatia and Bosnia sold oil to Serbia at a ridiculous markup. And at the same time, Serbia would allow... Oh, hey, you built a chair. and now she can
I built
play
a guitar.
Oh, nice. But and then Serbia would allow smugglers to smuggle weapons through Serbia into Bosnia and Croatia. And the reason this had to happen is because Serbia is sort of the central hub to it's sort of the central trade hub for the Balkans, and it's where all of the smuggling routes go. So it was this weird economy where both nations were were allowing each other to get the things they needed
to continue the conflict and fight the other.
Yeah, and the craziest story, at least for me, is not that Bosnia was selling Serbia fuel so that it could keep powering its weapons to keep killing Bosnians. It was the story actually from Albania, because Albania had a very direct line to Serbia, and also didn't care about anything. And so there were many different ways that they smuggled oil of varying degrees into the country. I know some of there was, if you were in Serbia during the time of the siege, basically you could find people on the road who just had buckets of gas they would give you. Because no gas station had it, because you couldn't like legally purchase gas. But the thing was that you didn't want to buy gas from those roadside merchants, because the word of mouth the word of mouth at the time was that putting that kind of gas in your car would basically mean it would stop running at about 40 miles. But anyway, to Albania, they smuggled oil in pretty much every way possible, oil and gas, down to they had like crazy Mad Max cars that they could fill with upwards of 500 gallons of fuel and would just drive across the border. And also some routes they would put barrels of oil on donkeys and just walk that shit into the country.
And just to clarify, these were private individuals, right? This wasn't government policy. This wasn't conflict.
This wasn't government policy. No, this was the mob. This was
right.
This is all the dark economy, the shadow economy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really super bizarre smuggling stories from the. I think and I've forgotten a few things since, but I've forgotten a few names here, so I might throw them up if I remember them after this somewhere on the screen. But there was the Siege of Sarajevo also really interrupted the cigarette trade, which was kind of the mob's bread and butter. Bulgarian smugglers, who were the main ones, and kind of the greater like Bulgarian kind of Balkan organized crime. They would smuggle 3 different things, which was I believe in order: women, stolen cars, and cigarettes.
Right.
They'd smuggle women across across the Black Sea from Ukraine to wherever. I think eventually to Austria was where the path went. They would smuggle cigarettes, which were had the most circuitous route. Stolen cars, they stole any nice car that was in the Balkans basically and just took it somewhere else. This included rentals and other things. Oh, what was that? Our has died this morning. He was shot by a sniper. He will be missed. So what does that mean about the war?
That one doesn't mean anything. It just means that one of the radio spokespeople has died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just flavor.
So Zlata is up there playing the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
There are basically 3 levels of being able to play the guitar. And each character has one of them. It's either can't play it, can play it, or is Zlata.
Right, because Zlata's characteristic is that she is the musician.
Right. And depending on who you put on the guitar, different soundtracks will play, and I'll show that off a bit later.
Is it individualized to is Zlata or is not Zlata?
Each one of those 3 levels has a different song they play.
I like that there is a song that is played for cannot play the guitar.
Yes. Yeah, so we're fixing up another piece of the house.
Gotta patch up the 3rd floor attic.
Well, if you look, there's a double-tiered balcony you could climb up to get there.
Yeah, how many holes are left in your house? Is this the last one?
I think this is the last one, but there's one more layer of security after it.
Yeah, you put an electronic door after that.
Yeah, you put a
Wait,
rudimentary security alarm on.
Okay, I thought it was going to be like boarding up the windows.
Nah, you just set up like a really cheap alarm system on the door.
You know, that's actually a thing. That actually reminds me of, that's a thing that moonshiners do, actually, kind of. When they're setting up stills, moonshining hasn't changed too much from the 18th century. Except that, stills have gotten more advanced, but even in that respect, it hasn't changed that much since the 1920s. The most common still is the submarine still, which kind of looks like a camper trailer, but holds, I think, can produce 800 gallons of whiskey. And it's propane fired. You get your propane through a guy who knows a guy, and he'll like drop it in the woods or whatever. But then you just find a place in the woods that's kind of out of the way, where you can set up your still, and it needs to be close to a cool stream because you need cold water so that the hot, like, vaporized alcohol will condense. And so long as you have a source of cold water, then you just drape some camo netting over your still so that passing aircraft can't see it, can't see your operation. And then most moonshiners will also there's a cheap motion detector you can buy that's for deer hunting. And because it's for deer hunting, it also blends in very easily to trees. And so moonshiners will set that up near their operation and just kind of check it every day to see if ATF agents have come by.
Right.
So what's left to steal in the school, anyway?
Some drips and drabs of different materials. You're always sort of on the back foot when it comes to construction materials, and there's a lot left here.
Right, yeah. Oh, looks like more of the school got exploded.
I think that might be the same amount.
I don't know that the school model changes.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Maybe we just haven't been that far and had the camera that far up before.
Yeah, that's very possible.
When you start, you have to climb up and over, and then you drop down and work your way back in.
Oh, yeah, okay. Grab that wood with both hands, make a stash.
Yeah, this is just me taking everything that's scavengeable and not stealable and putting it in that particular pile.
Sure.
That pile is more important to me than the other piles.
That pile doesn't make any sense.
And it's here that I realized that I forgot the crowbar again.
Oops.
But it's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's why you stared mournfully at the door.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to come back at least once more to clear out everything that was in that pile. Maybe, actually, twice more, probably. From the looks of that stash you just picked up.
Yeah, and also all that lumber that you just got out of the fridge. Looks like there's another saw door there.
Yeah, and behind it is an herbal garden that has a steel icon on it, so I'm not too interested in it right now.
Yeah, you're not really super hurting for food at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to steal from people.
Yeah, don't do it until you're desperate, because there's a lot of dudes in this place, and you did not bring any weapons, or even any tools that could be employed as weapons.
So, I'll say this because I don't plan to cause conflict here.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, the AI fights differently depending on what characters they are. So one time I stole from right out in front of their noses, and they just started beating on me. But unlike the thugs in this game, once I was down to extremely wounded, they stopped attacking me and told me to go away.
Okay, I thought they just would beat you down and just, like, take all your stuff. And then you'd leave.
Thankfully, no.
But yeah, that makes sense. Like, they just want their shit back.
Yeah.
Found plenty of fine stuff. Oh man, they stole 26... Oh no, that's what you brought back. I keep thinking that's what was stolen.
No, God, no. Now we use...
When did we get a functional gun?
We have a shotgun.
Yeah, you got that at the apartment. I don't think you had any bullets for it, though.
Bullets might be generic.
I just bought a couple of bullets off of Franco while you were talking about cigarettes and oil.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, Franco's a good example of everyone should have one happy memory.
And it can't just be good, it has to be grand.
That's the isn't that rule 29 of Zombieland?
Enjoy the little things.
Yeah.
Bruno's sleepy.
Now, am I right? Is the hardcap 5 characters?
I think it might be 4, actually.
I thought I might have gotten 5 in one game.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it seems like there's enough space in your house for 5 people.
Although, really, given that you can't send multiple people to multiple places in one night, it becomes a liability to have too many people.
Right. And
you're dependent on one person scavenging every night.
And you have there's a maximum of 2 guards, I believe. Everyone else has to sleep.
Yeah, so all you really get at that point is you can keep everybody fresh.
Yeah. Which has its own benefits. Alright,
yeah.
Here we're going to upgrade the main workshop again.
Nice.
Open up some new stuff.
What are we going to build?
Considering how many... have access to electric things now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could already build a radio.
So the big thing about that is it gives me the capability to make things that let me upgrade other workbenches.
Oh, nice.
So that herbal garden I have off on the right, there's the reinforced door we were talking about. These things at the bottom are necessary to upgrade the various workshops.
The regulator.
The heat lamp on the left is what I need to upgrade that herbal garden right there.
Now you can make it into a grow station.
A vegetable garden, thank you very much.
Get some of them dank herbs.
It can already make herbs, that's all it can make.
Yeah, but it can't make dank herbs. That's what you need the lamp for.
We have a visitor.
Got a bun or a top knot.
It's definitely not Franco.
Day mission.
It's Agata. She just needs She just needs one bandage.
Yeah, that's fine. You're basically selling all of those right now anyway.
Yeah. And if you look, Pavel's not wounded anymore.
Oh yeah, because people just eventually get better on their own after a while.
Especially if they're sleeping a lot, which I've always been having him sleeping.
Yeah, because he doesn't... Enough sleeping.
Not tired anymore.
I'm tired of sleeping.
Yeah, that's an exception with wounded and sick characters. They can always sleep even if they're not tired.
So do you ever run into a problem of characters, like, getting bored? Or getting, like, restless?
The shelter tracks basically activity items, and it seems to affect their mental well-being, but not directly as far as I'm aware.
Generally speaking, entertainment has a positive effect instead of boredom having a negative effect.
Sure.
So the more books you have, the more of a passive emotional bonus you get.
Oh, the improved stove.
I don't have enough components for it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so good, though.
Yeah.
Nice days are going to be upcoming. Nice days are going to be warm.
So if you look at the day 6 thing, it mentioned that we talked to a rebel representative.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a big influx of fighting soon.
Oh dear. So
Which
a bunch
means-
of stuff's gonna get cut off.
Yes, about half of it. And I don't think there's any way to tell which will and which won't.
Yeah, it's unpredictable. Sometimes stuff farther away you can access, and sometimes stuff closer you can.
That's curious.
Oh, by the way, interesting thing, the Sniper Junction is one of the locations that's a strict 50-50 with a different location. It either shows up or the other one does.
Oh, so there's
Here we go.
actually variance in what raiding places will show up in the course of a run.
Yeah, a little bit.
Huh, I didn't know that. What shows up in its place?
The Central Square, which is essentially a market with a bunch of different traders in it.
Interesting.
I had no idea. In the couple games I played, it was always Sniper Junction.
It might be determined based on what scenario you do, unless you make your own scenario.
Ah, yeah.
So this is me looking around because that guy said he heard gunshots.
Okay, so there might be soldiers coming in or something.
What it turned out was he heard me slamming open doors on the top floor.
Wow, what a dick you are. Go into their house, slam doors while they're trying to sleep.
Excuse me, let me crowbar your bathroom.
Can we help you? Nope, I'm fine.
It's like that scene from Demolition Man. Wesley
All
Snipes
good.
just kicking the gun case.
So let's see what we get after all that work.
We have.
3 machine parts!
Oh man,
It's actually
Pogs.
not too bad.
It's alright.
Oh man, they got Alf. He's back in Pog form.
These are cogs, not pogs.
I wonder how valuable a POG-based currency system is.
I don't know, cardboard circles don't usually hold their value very well.
You're saying they're easily counterfeited?
I'm saying a slight rain will ruin the economy.
No, it'll cause massive deflation.
Then it becomes a strictly slammer-based economy.
Oh my god.
Those are harder to counterfeit too because they got holograms.
So you can see here that I'm basically running out of stuff in my big stashes that I've been relying on.
Yeah. Oh, but we'll see more of that in the next episode.
We'll deal with that soon.